Hi friends, welcome to Tutor's Funny channel. Today I am going to teach how to make the Crud application using Node.js with Angular front-end application with MongoDB as a database. So how to do the system in professional way. So here you have a nice registration form and you have a table, bootstrap table. Here you have to here add the first name. I'm going to add the first name John. Last name I'm going to write as Peter. John, we have to use something Steve. Name, email address john@gmail.com. Password I'm going to set as 123. Here password, if you type the password, it take it as a hash. It will be password as a security hash. It will be take care of it. If you click submit button, employee registered successfully. Now you can see the newly registered is created below. You can check here. Now if you want to edit the record, if you click this button here, it will be edit the record. Pointer here. If you want to click this button, John here, we edit it. So you can see the password is a hash password. Okay, the record you can edit, it will be to take it as a hash. Now you can able to edit over here. Right now here, I'm going to edit the record John. You're going to write John. I'm going to change it as this one as a Fleming. So here Steve. It's a Flem. Gmail.com. Now if you are to submit again, this time employee update. Employee add and edit both are doing in one button. Okay, if you click edit button, the programming understand this time not going to use edit as add record. It's just this time record will be updated, right? So okay, right, perfect. Now here you can check here. Okay, planning. Okay, all the things are working perfectly. Now if you want to delete the record, click delete button. Record has been deleted. How to make this Crud application Node.js and Angular as a front end and MongoDB as a database using step by step we'll teach. For Node.js, you just type on the Google Node.js, you go to the respective website. Here where you can download the Node.js. Right? No, download and you have to install your machine. After install it, you have to download the MongoDB. Right? MongoDB download. Here go and download here. Right? MongoDB. Right? Here go and type here, try for free. You have to download it and install your machine. Right? You have to fill the form and you can download it. You can register and after that you can download it. Right? After that you have to install the MongoDB Compass as well. Right? Now then you will be able to get this MongoDB Compass. This is the MongoDB Compass. You will be able to get it. That you have to open them. Right? So it will be open up. Right? The first you have to install the Node.js. After install them, you can get the MongoDB Compass. Here where you have to create the database. Right? So here this is a server. Default you have created. You can see here localhost. This is a server. Right? So you have click connect. Your database has been connected. Right? Your database has been connected. Right? So here if you want to create the new database, you click on the plus symbol. Okay, this one should be the database name here, collection. In MongoDB, this is a NoSQL. NoSQL means this is not a structure, right? This is a NoSQL, right? This is not a relational database, right? So here you can see here database. I'm going to create as whatever name. I'm going to create BBC. Okay, okay. This is the database BBC, right? I just name it as the BBC school or something, right? Some institute. EST. I just use EST, right? So after that, the collection I'm going to create as the table name. Table name is I'm going to create this as employees. Employees a table name. You have to create yes employees, right? The plural. You have to type as a plural. The collection that is an efficient way to create the collection plural employees, right? Okay, this database name EST, right? This is a database, this table name. Whatever database name you have to school management system or hospital management system you have to create. Okay, right? Right, now let's click create. Now here your database has been created, est. Inside here, this is the structure. You can see here, sorry, this one, employees. You can see the employees, right? So this is the structure you have created. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, now you have created the database, right? So, and tables, this is table means a collections. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to install the, another important thing is VS Code editor. This editor helpful to write the Node.js code. VS Code editor, you have to download and install the code. This is must, this editor is must. You have to work with the Nodejs, right? So this must, right? You click and install your machine, right? After done the stuff, what you're going to do is I'm going to create the Node project, Node.js project I'm going to create. So I'm going to go to the E drive. So here I'm going to create the new project, Node new projects. I'm going to create the folder. Here I'm going to create a new project of Node.js. So click and on the address bar type cmd. Here open up your command prompt. Here you type npm init, press enter key. It asks the package name. I just press enter key, version enter. This one, if you want you can fill them. At the moment I don't need them. This one I am going to enter this, right? It will generate the package.json file, right? So you have to press yes. Right, you can see the package.json, only the one file is created. Now you have to open them is VS Code editor. You have to type it again cmd code space dot. Your project will open up the VS Code editor, look like this. Now here trust that in package.json you can see the file, the single file. Here only the node project, your version, all the things are there, right? Now here node is a package management. Now here we have to install the Node.js server. The server means here the server is where communicate with the front end, right? Backend and front end. Backend in Node.js there's an express editor. Okay, in PHP, Laravel, PHP and Java, Spring Boot, those are the framework. Here this one should be the express. That is the server you are running. Now let's go to the Google and type over here express, npm express. You type simply express. It goes to the relevant npm model. It goes here. You have to find the link to install that, right? First you have to get the link over here. After you have experience, you just type npm I express. I mean it stands for install. Okay, there are things, click copy, right? So how to import it here, it will be telling how to import this package, right? So let's back to my project. This is my project, right? So now here I'm going to open the terminal. It's simple, very simple. If you open up the terminal over here, right? So here I'm going to type npm I express. Okay, I have typed like this. You just copy and paste, it will be work. It's don't worry. Okay, then you will be able to see all the package need to be installed. Okay, all the node modules package need to be installed. You have to wait until the package get installed. Now you can see here node modules packages are installed successfully. All the packages are installed, right? Very simple, right? After done the stuff, what you're going to do is you have to install another module, that is a mongoose, right? Mongoose. So how to install npm mongoose is the package. Here we have to communicate with the database. This also npm I mongoose. You just copy this one. You can see paste it over. This is also the terminal in VS Code editor. Press enter. Now you have to wait until the mongoose package get installed. Okay, don't close anything in here. Okay, you have to wait until the process completed, right? This all the packages completed, then only we will be able to work, right? So don't skip or anything else, you just keep while the installation completed. Now my package, all the packages installed successfully, right? My mongoose, right? Package. So you have to go and check the package.json. Now you can see here the dependencies install Express as well as Mongoose. Both are installed. So you can check on the file. Just open the file on package.json and you can check whether it is installed or not. It installed successfully. You can get them inside the dependency. You will be see. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to start this server. So here simply you can click this plus symbol, this icon. Now here I'm going to create the new page. This is server.js. Here we have to implement the server. So we already we done the Express editor. We have installed. First you have to type var. So type var. This is a data type. So Express equal required. We have to implement the namespace. Okay. But Java you have to write import Java. Same thing, you have to import the server over here, Express. Then only you have to express the server. Now here implement the server successfully. Now after that, this server you have to call this var server equal Express. This we have to call it. Then only it will be work. Sorry, server Express. Then it will work. Right, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do is, we have done this stuff. Now I'm going to set a port. What is the port the server is running on? So the server dot listen the port. You have to give any port. Now I'm going to run it 8000 port. Whatever port you can give, right? This is a port where your server is running. Right? That's the thing we have to do it again. Okay, now here we have to write like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether it is working or not. You have to create the function check error. You have to write this efficient way. This is the way you have to follow, right? It's very simple. If error, you have to write here console dot log error. Else, or the else part, right? If it is started, you just copy this one. Control C to copy, Control V. This one should be started. Right. Now here, this one, we have to call, this is not an efficient way to call this, whether the port is running or not. You just this function, what you have to call this inside this function, in this bracket, you just comma, this function, you have to Control X to cut off and paste it over here. Okay, this is the way you have to follow. This is a very simple way. This is how we have to write the function. So this is how it will be work, right? Very simple. Right, now let's type how to check with this server, sorry, node server.js. Right, the problem is this. We have to write, but we didn't call it. That's why it didn't write. Okay, so we have to call this one is here is we have to write server. You have to call it over here server use express.json. Right. Save all. Again you have to paste it here. Now here you can see that no problem, your server is started. The code's no problem, your server is started. Right, this is how we have to running the server. Okay, now the server is successfully running on your machine. Right, the Node.js server is running successfully in your machine if you write the command. Right, perfect. Right, after done the stuff, you have to call server use express.json mean it will be running. If the port is okay, it will be running. Right, now after that, what you're going to do is you have to establish the database connection. So I already installed the Mongoose in my machine. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the variable var Mongoose. Write the variable Mongoose equal. Here also the same thing, you just copy and paste it instead of writing. Here also you have to change this one as a Mongoose. This library, Mongoose library, right? You have to call this, if it is the name problem here, this is what is the name here, given the same name, you have to put it over here. Okay, avoiding the spelling mistake, like Mongoose. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is here, this server we have to get them to implement the namespace here. No problem. Okay, this we have implement the namespace. Now here we have write mongoose.connect. We have to connect the server. So write it over here. It's connection. Mongoose connection. You have to write here. Simply you have MongoDB. You have MongoDB. You have to write MongoDB. You have to write slash localhost this connectivity. Simply you have to get the connectivity over here. When I connect the first time, you will be get the connection project. Okay, you have to connect here this one. Here this one. Simply you have to get them this URL. Okay, right? This URL you can get. If you have any problem issue with this one, you can get the URL or like this. Your database name is what's the database I have created. This name you have to give. Plus name EST is a database name. EST which is a database name, right? That's it. That's the thing you have to write. After that, you have to close this one, right? So after that, what you are going to do is here we have to do the thing is we have to check this as well. So we have to write a function. So we have function here also function that function here also function check db error check db. This also you have to check it if error if it is error console this one is something you have to call it instead of writing call that right. If db error is called error, otherwise it is running this db started sorry you have to run it here db connected right, db connected. Perfect. Now what you are going to do is this is also the arrow function, right? This one also we have to paste control x to cut off comma you have to paste here. It's working, right? Working. This is how you have to do the things. After that, what you are going to do is another thing is this is must, right? So you have to write right inside here you have to call the two things. This is must, right? So I'm going to go to my project, right? So here this is the two things are must, then only the project is running. Here this one use url pass, then only the urls all the things are work without any problem, right? You have to pass this one, right? So here it open the bracket and close bracket, here comma, then only the error, right? So that's it. Okay, this is simple stuff. Don't worry about this. Also I provided you will be able to run it, right? The simple one. Okay, instead of writing you have to just copy and paste it. Okay, the new user trial true, topology true. Don't make it. This is simple stuff. After done stuff, we'll check whether the database connect is okay or not. Let's control C to copy, control C to stop the project, rerun it again. Node server JS. Right, started. What is the error? This error function is not defined. What is the error here? Right, the problem is over here. Here what the thing is here error we didn't do it here. What's the error? Then only it will work. The function I have written it's a blank function. Inside the function we have to type error. Then only this error is coming here. That's why it show the error. Save all again. You have to type again. Now your DB is connected successfully. Your DB is connected successfully. I hope you guys you understood the things well. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. After done the stuff, I'm going to go to create the new folder which is a routes. The routes manage all the URLs, right? So right click inside the routes folder. I'm going to create a file which is a routes.js, right? The file which manage all the URLs management, right? So okay. Now here also the routes file also what you are going to do is we have to the same thing you have to implement. This express server this namespace you have to implement it over here. After that we have to use this we have write over here as the thing is we have write first route. Right here this one concept variable. This is the way you follow that. Router equal express dot router. That's the thing you have to write. Express router. Here you have to write this router dot route. Here you have to mention the URL. Okay, if the URL is coming, dash you have to write user. So user you have to write get all. If the URL coming, what happen is you have to go to the get user controller. I haven't created this page yet. I'm going to create this page. Get data function. It's called the get data connect controller function. Controller F1 means function. That's it. It goes to that particular function to get the things, right? So this is if the URL is coming, right? So let's go to the server and do the thing is here. Very simple. You have to do the stuff, right? So first you have to the server. We have to add the path of the route. As your server is running, your server is called the routes. So routes. Okay, the variable routes required. You have to write like this. Routes. Yeah, the routes. These are the for routes. Routes slash route. This is what is the file routes. Right, that's the thing you have to write. This is the path you have to give. Okay, the routes where this is you have to get the variable routes required. Your dot routes, yeah, inside the file routes, right? It's there. Okay, we go here. The server file is here. It goes inside this folder. And you have to go type like this. Now it's current directory. Slash mean you have to go inside the folder slash routes. Inside the routes, you have a file called routes.js. But because you have to outside the here this you are outside the server.js, outside the routes folder. If you access the routes folder, what you have to go to the path. Dot mean now you are in the current directory. This is the directory is current directory. This is a dot slash. This is a slash. If you go inside the things slash means slash inside the things you have to go to access this file slash routes. This file you have to access. So you go to the path like this. Right. Perfect. That stuff you have done it. Now you have to use this route as well. Okay, so how to use route as well. Here you have to using all the things. Right, the route as well. So how to use the routes. Here also you have to write server. You have to tell them the server to call the routes. So use routes. This routes. You give the path. This path you have given over here. That's the thing. You have to do it here. Perfect. Let's save that. Right. Now everything you have completed. Now what you are going to do is here. Is there any URL issues? Right, that's something. The problem is the RESTful API access problem. You have to write this cross. You have to write constant cross because the URL API access they have the problem. Okay, the API access. If you get the problem, you have to write it in order to solve the problem. You have to import this. Right. Okay, import this one. So you have to write the Control C to copy, Control C to stop the server. You have this one. You have to type npm I right cross. Right, it package is installed. Right, perfect. Okay, the RESTful API problem which is work without any problem. You have to use this. This one also you have to connect with the server. Server dot use cross folder method. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. Perfect. Right. Now all the things are working perfect. Now what you're going to do is go to the routes. You have to go to the get, or if you get the function, it goes to this particular function. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the folders. Okay, so I'm going to put it to folder. So I'm going to type here, create the folder which is a you can type the src. You have to create the folder src. Inside the src folder, you have to type the folder user. So this is the file structure you have to create. This is the efficient way to type the folder structure. So sorry, this is inside the routes. So we have to delete them. Not inside the routes. These are. So create the folder here outside the routes. src. Inside the src folder, we have a new folder called user. Inside the user folder, we have to create all the things, right? So user control, you have to create the file user controller.js. After this, another file you have created user service.js, right? So user. After that, you have to create another file which is a user model.js. Okay, all right. These files are important to create the Crud application system, right? Now what you're going to do is now you've done the pages, right? This is a page. Okay, when the URL is coming, you can see this URL in the routes. When the URL is coming, it goes to the page which is a user controller. This is a user controller get action method. Okay, now let's go to the user controller. This is a user controller. You have visited the user controller, right? Now what you're going to do is I am going to, instead of this writing, I just copy this one. Don't worry about it. I'll be explain it. I'm going to paste it over here. But if I write it, it takes too much of time to complete. That's why I just paste it. You have to create the variable var get controller function. You have to write like this is function. This same function. Which function? This model function. Sorry. This route function. This same function. Sorry. This I have the spelling mistake. Same function. Control C to copy. I paste it over here. Right. The same function is coming over here. And here I'm going to type this one as a employee. This employees. Employee. I'm the very employee. But employee. To get the employee data. Paste it over here as well. Right. Okay. So you have to create a variable. So here var, this is your method. Okay. Here you have to write, if you have put avoid, you have to type this one assign. Okay. So here request and response. There's two parameters, request and response. Okay, get the request. This is a request you are getting from the URL, right? Okay, you get the response. So it can't get the response here. So here this function create the variable employee avoid. Okay, so here one task is complete, another task work. That's why you put avoid function. So here service, it pass the request to the service. Service is process which you communicate with the model, right? So here service has a function get data from the DB service, right? If the service, if the thing is coming, it will be get the response and sending back to the routes, right? So what you're going to do is now we have to make the service page. We already service page, you have to make it. So this user service. Okay, so go to the service. What you're going to do is now service page, right? Service page also this same model I just copied, paste over here, right, paste it over here. Now you can see it's a model here. Simply you have to import all the things, model, export, then only it will be export to another class. Okay, so you have to export model, export, get from DB service. So a new promise is the one which will be handling all the request, right? From inside the promise we have to create a function, right? So we have to create the function. You have to check the function check. I gave this URL. check URL. I will create the function check URL. Check URL, it has two things, resolve and reject. If the result is success, resolve will be work. If the result is failure, reject will be work. In the promise will be handling all the URL stuff, right? It is handling the stuff, right? So here it's passing to it get the service. What is the service that it will be getting? Loading the data. So it passing the promise. Promise has a two function, resolve and reject, right? So it will be passing to the model. So user model find, you have to get all the data, so you have write the array look like this. So function return, we have created two variables, error and result, right? How to create this one I have already explained, right? Then if it is error, it will be rejected false. If it is success, result will be there. It is success, it will be result will be passing to the front end, right? Now what you're going to do is, we have a model. Go to the model. This is a user model. So user model, I'm going to create the schema of the database. You have to create a schema of the database, right? So schema, I'm going to create the model. So Control C to copy the same thing. I'm going to paste it over here. I'll be explaining. Don't worry about that, because if I take too much of time to complete the project, if I'm going to create, okay, this is the employee. We have created the table. Whatever is the name of the table you have created, which name is employees. Here this table is the employees. est employees. This is a table. This is schema. So employee table, we have some data. I'm going to create something, name. I'm going to create name, address, phone. These are the address, phone. These are the things data we have to create. Okay, only the three data. Okay, I have created name, address, mobile, phone. This is simple data. We have created three data only. Okay, this is simple data we have to create, right? These three columns are there. Let's save all, right? Let's save all. This is the thing, right? ID will be auto generated. Okay, so here these are the columns you have created. So first you have to implement the mongoose. Click mongoose. With schema, you have to create the schema. Mongoose has a library called schema. You have to create the variable user schema, new schema. You have to create these columns. Okay, columns name with the appropriate database. Right here we are not do any calculation part, so we can give as a string as a phone number. Right, so these are the schema we are creating the database table. Right. Okay, if you call this user schema, it will be created. Right, so let's save. Right, that's it. The first when the request is coming, how the process work, the URL is coming, user get all, it's go to the controller function, right? Controller get data. So go to the controller. So here we have to give the user service. So user service path we have to give. So how to give the user service path? Here this one. So it will be given over here. Okay, we give the path. Here it will be the get controller is communicate with via here where the model service. So service path you have to give. Service communicate via model. So model is path also we have to give. Okay, so how to give the path model? Sorry, service this one the model. So give the model path as well. User model. Model is the path communicate the database, right? So this is the path we are given. Route also we have to given the route also we have to given this one. This the controller path we have to give as well. The controller path. So the route is on you. It will be communicate with the data routes, because two folders here. You are inside this folder. Two dot mean here. You are inside users. User is inside the src folder. So you have to go / src user. So folder name. After the access. That's how the URL works. The route here coming here. First you have to access / src. / means go outside the folder, and src user controller. Then only we access the route to this file. Okay, this file we access into the user file dot. This is a current directory / means it goes to the service. A service will be access the model. Current directory is dot slash model. It will be access the model. This is how the URL will be made. Very simple. Now you have an idea. If the URL is coming user slash get all, it goes to the controller, user controller, and user controller will be passing the request to service. Service is the process which will be communicate with the database, and we will be get the data. If the data has come successfully, it will resolve. If there is any problem, it will be rejected. Right? It passing to the output to the routes. Right? We successfully complete the get all part. So now I'm going to go to create the data. So I'm going to create this URL. Right? So let's just copy and paste it. Otherwise, it will take too much of time to complete this project. Right? So I'm going to paste it over here. Now you can understand, I'll be explained here. If the URL is coming, this is a route, we have to get it and call it here. There's a property called route. Outright this one I explain it. The same thing you have to write over here, right? If when the URL is coming slash user create, this is a post. This is the get the data, we have to get method using the get method. If it is a post data, if you have using the post method, right? User controller, create user controller, FN, right? This is the method you have to create, right? Create use. This is the function which will be create the records, right? After that, what you are going to do is after that, if you get the data, create controller function, right? After that, what you are going to do is it goes the user controller when the request is coming. When the URL, when you type the URL, look like this. Okay, so it goes to the user controller create action method. So you go to the user controller. You have to create the separate method. What's the method you have to create user control. So here I have already created, so I'll be copy and paste, then only will be able to understand that, right? So I'll just copy it, right? Paste it over here, right? Paste it over here. Now let's this one I don't need then. Right now here you can check here when the request is create user controller FN. FN means function. Shortly you have type FN assign task. So here request and response you write to functions. So here we have to write this one as a we have to write this one also. We don't need that, right? Let's get rid of these lines, right? Now you can see here when the request is coming, this is the function, right? Create user FN, this function. The request is coming, this will be passing to the user service to create the records, right? When it is passing the user service to create the request. The request body stated is coming successfully, user created, otherwise here error create the user, right? So let's go to here. We already create the one here as get the data. Now you have to create the data, add the data into the database. So I have created code here as well. This one, get the data, remove the data, create the data. Paste it over here. This one I'm going to, we don't need the, we have to change the fields and all. We change the fields and all. The user model is a model. We are calling the user model to get the data into the database, right? Schema. So here we have first, what is the fields we have? What is the schema? If you check the schema, name, address. So you have right over here the service name, sorry, address, phone. This line we get rid of this line, but pass it this here. Name, address, phone. That's it, right? Now this is a service. Okay, so here the service also we have to get the service also same thing. This is the function in the service, user details. So you have to create here the promise. I already explained what is the purpose you have to create the promise. Promise is the one who manage the request. Okay, there is inside the promise, there is two functions we have created, resolve and reject. If the request is successfully, it is resolved. If it is a failure, it's rejected, right? It passing two functions, right? So here we have to set the data. Okay, these are the fields, right? Name and address, phone number. Okay, so it will be this one created in database. So if it is correct, the details, right? The details. The details. If it is correct, so here use a save. Here there will be the save function handling error request. If there is any problem, it will be rejected. If the result is success, it is the result. That's the thing it will be doing. That's perfect. That's the thing we have done it in the service, right? Perfect. Now let's go. Here we done two things, right? So here, what you are going to do is here I have to export it. Service no need there. Right. So let's go to our project. This my project is the controller project. It's a controller, right? So here I have to export them. This one I will explain it, get function and create function, right? We have to export it. Okay, so we have create the function, this particular two function. We have to export the outside. We have to write model exports. We have to put it this one. Then only we will use this function. It's outside. Okay, no, right? So that export. Here service also we have to write this. We already written like this. Okay, if you want, you can write like this. Okay, if you create the function and finally you have to get output it, right? That's simple, right? You have to do likewise, right? So you have to do like this way or that way. Okay, both are nice. So if you want to write like this, well, this also works. Okay, you have to write var, the same thing like here as well. Var, you have to write like this. Okay, perfect. Here you have to create the arrow function over here, right? Now let's check whether it's working fine or not. Right now let's save all. This project we save all. Now let's open the Postman. Postman is the we have to check the request whether it's working fine or not. Now let's see how to run the server. You have an idea. Okay, what server? Sorry, node server .js. This is a file you have to run it and check the request. While running the project, I have got the error as dot user service because I have given here as user controllers user service, but this is not a service. Yes, service only have given. That was the error. Spelling mistake here. The page you have created user service here user services. Right. Again we have going to run it. Right. The error display, what is the thing is model I haven't exported. That's why here the export, then only it will be work. Right here other pages you can here export, models also export, the schema, the models, the schema also export, service also export. We have to write the exports, right? So that's why the problem we have to, now you can write here. Now it's started DB connected. Now let's check the URL, right? So let's go to the URL. So what is a port? This is the port you have to check it. Localhost HTTP localhost. This is a port you have to check it, right? So this is the port, right? So HTTP, this is localhost, right? This you have to type localhost. So go to the Postman. You have to type localhost. What is the port? You have to type the port. Port. I'm going to check it. What's the port? This is a port. What is the port you are doing the server? 800 port. You have to type on the post method. This one should be the post method. I'm going to insert the record, right? Post, right? So what is the URL? Now you have to type the URL. What's the URL you're going to type? I'm going to type the URL as, first I'm going to insert the record. So create, right? So here I write body row. So type like this. Right, you type the URL like this, the post URL, right? You write this post URL also here. What's the URL you're going to type? So name, this one should be the address, mobile. Add some value, address, India, mobile number, you have to write like this, something like that. Okay, click send button. The here the problem, the get the response, what's the problem? There's a problem with the URL or something. Here it's routes create, here there's a problem, URL problem here. Model data, it's saying there you go, what's the page and 29. So use the model name, use the details name. So you go and check, user detail is not tied, not defined. So you go to the model, user controller, okay, these details you can check here. That's why that's error. Here the details, there's a problem, it says spelling mistake, right? So let's save all. Okay, you have to write like this. Okay, then only if you get any error you will be able to solve up. Right now let's again check it. Now again if you get the request, again we get the problem. Couldn't respond, again get the problem. What the problem it is? The problem is this. Here my models, here phone, here written is a mobile. That's the problem. That's it. Again I'm going to run the project. That's why it won't work. It's working. Now that's the problem. Now here user created, right? Now let's back to my database and check it. This is my database. I'm going to refresh it. Here it's working. Now if you are going to add the record, Peter John Gmail, phone number, this one, click user created, back to my database and check it. It's working. Now it's working perfectly well. Now if you have to get the data, so how to use the URL? What the URL we have to use? You can find it or this is the URL. Back it here, post it over here. At this time not a post method, it's a get method. It's a get request. So here none. Click send. It's working. Okay, it's working perfectly well. It's working perfectly well. Right. Thank you for watching. I'll be getting in touch with in my Node.js Angular Part 2 tutorial. Thank you. Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. This is a part 2 video of Node.js, MongoDB and Angular. So here in our last class we saw the get all function and create, right? How to add the record and view the records. In this class I'm going to talk about the update part. So what I'm going to do is, so let's get this URL. I'm going to explain, don't worry. If I write this one, take too much of time to complete. So here, third one, this one, you have to go. You type routes, route. So this is the route object you are getting. There is a predefined function on the route. So here you have to write like this. Here I already show you this. Here route, the predefined function is route. So here you have to call the path. If the URL is coming like this, when the URL is coming like this here, when the URL is coming like this, here you can notice that when you get the records, when you view the records, there is a function which is a get. Okay, when you post the values to the database, when you type the form, when you fill the form and click submit button, the value should be value is posting to the database. So this is a posting method. This is retrieving the data from the database. This is the posting the value to the database. After that, there is another function which is a fetch. Fetch we use to update the record. Okay, so you already have a records. Okay, you have a records in the database. You have to make the changes and click save again. So the record should be updated, not recreate the record. The existing record need to be updated. So we have to write the method which is a patch. Node.js, they have the methods get, post, and patch, right? So the Crud operation, there is a different method, right? You get, post, and patch. Okay, easily understand. So how to check user update ID? ID mean you have a record on the database. Okay, so when you update the particular record, you update the record via the ID, because ID is a unique, so that we have get the ID and update the employee records, right? So here this patch user controller, this is a controller, there's a update. So I will be telling the flow, how the flow works. First you have to go to the controller. Controller will be passing the record to service. Okay, this is the route passing the record. This is you see the URL coming like this. This is a route.js. It passing the controller pass to the service pass to the model is the part where communicate with the MongoDB database and update the records into the database table, right? That's a flow, working flow. Now we have created the function update user controller in our controller class. So here I'm going to create the controller. Go to the Node.js. Here you have to type the controller. There's a function update, right? So you have to, I'll be explain, don't worry. So create this one here, whereas update. Paste it over here, right? Now you can see here, this is a function. When the URL is coming, user control update, it goes to the controller class update function. You can see the assign task, require, it pass two variables, request and response. You get the request and send the response. Now you get the request. Is what is the request you are getting? You are getting the request, this URL. So when the request is coming, it passes the controller. Now here in the controller will be get the request. Here the record is get the request. Okay, the get the request, passing the request param ID mean you get the ID, particular ID over here. You have to check the console where the console ID is successfully display on. And request body means all the records we are checking like this, right? You have to put the request body and request param. You will be check the ID whether ID is passing correct or not, right? After that, you have to what you have to create the variable result. You have to put the await you have to put it here. You have to write assign, right? This method. So here control will be passing via, okay, the flow, how the flow control is the when the request is coming, it passing to the request to the which service. There is a function here. We have to create update one user. Okay, update one. You can create whatever name. I have created update one, update user service. Okay, update user service, right? Update user service. Here request param ID. Here this ID param. You get the ID. Get request. You write the params dot ID and request body. Right? When you update the record, there is a body. Okay, if your first name, last name, your name, address, phone number, there is a body. Okay, ID means the particular ID. Okay, the name, address, phone number, that's one person details. So that person requires relevant ID, it passing to this param. Okay, when you update the record, you get the particular person's ID and update. Okay, because why I getting the ID mean ID should be unique, so that we have get the ID, particular ID, and update the records into the database. That's how the service works. Now here, this result, if you have to check here, if result, okay, now here, I'm going to this one. Before that, this is a request you are sending. Okay, whether it's request sending via user service. So user service, you have to check it here. you have to create here. This one UK service, you are starting here. You have to create it here as uh, user service. There's an update method, update function here. Paste it, copy it. I'm going to go to the just paste it over, right here. It passing the request to update user. This is the function I have written there, right? Update user, right? So here when we ask the uh, controller, this controller, you click on this, it's come to the update user, get the particular id and body details. So here it will be passing here request parameters id and body mean the details. It passing to a to this array. Okay, when the request is coming here, and after that you can check whether request is coming or not. You can console.log employee user details, you can check it here. User details, you can read user details, you can check it here, user details, right? Okay, after that you can see the new promise in service. You have created the promise, which is a function which will be handling the urls, handling the request and response URL. So here, when the request is success, it will be passing to the resource. Resolve will be work. If the request is failure, reject. There should be two functions: resolve and reject in the promise. When you create the file promise, if the result is succeed, resolve will be work. If the result is failure, reject will be work. So it will be communicated with via user model. User model, find id and update. There is a predefined method here. Here find, okay, id and update. It's a predefined method. Find id and update, right? It's a find id update, the predefined method. Okay, in user model, right? Find id update, right? This is the predefined method, right? In Node.js, id user details. So this id and user is we are passing here. Function return data, error result. You have to write like this, error result. So here you have to write if error, you have to code this one, this error. If it is error, it will be reject false. If it is, here we have to pass the, if it is resolved, when the request is correct, it is resolved, result will be work. Okay, if it is working, this one will be communicate via the models. Models mean this is the model, the user schema. This is the model where the this is the model where communicate with the database and update the record into the table, right? This is how the formula works, right? Very simple. Right now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to go to save all things. We are save all. Now let's select here server, sorry, here node server .js. Now we will be running the server first. What was there? Right, the problem is here. Right, correct. If there is any error here, this one we didn't export it. That's why here we create the function, but we didn't export it. That's why the error came. Okay, that's it. We understand the error. Okay, here it's simple. When you get the error, the no person will be here. Route patch require the callback function mean you have create the function, particular function, but you haven't exported. That's why the function, this error will be coming, right? So let's save. Again I'm going to go to the service.js page. Here also details, user details also I'm going to error. Here I'm going to wrong this one also, right? User details also I wrote it wrong. So save all. Now again run the project server. Now it will started DB connected. Now let's go to the open the Postman. Now here this is the update part, right? So here this is the how to write the update. You can write like this. Yeah, I'll be show you how to write. Where's my notepad? Node.js. Right now here you can see what is the URL, the route, uh, right now here you can see here this is a route. Say route. This is when the URL type user type URL like this. The same URL. Go here. Here you can see here this update. So you can see update. This is the ID. Okay. This is the ID. Right. You can see here user update particular ID. ID I have get it here. You can simply user update. This is the port where it will be running. Method you have to select as patch over here. ID user ID. Your get a, your let's get out. We'll check get out function, how the function is work. Not patch, get all the employee IDs over here. You can see here. Now here this repeated is I'm going to update. So get the ID and update. So how to copy this ID? User, what is the function? You're right. Update slash particular ID. This one you have changed it as address. This one is the phone number. Now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to this field name you have to change this name, right? So I'm going to update this particular ID. This is a Peter. I'm going to try type Peter and email address and phone number like this. Click send button. Sorry, you have to send patch at this time. Updated successfully. Now let's check here. Get all. Send request. Not patch the get. You make sure the appropriate request. Okay, get and post. Okay. Here Peter and all things are successfully changed. Right? Perfect. It's working perfect. Now let's go to the update part, delete part. So how the routes work, the delete. Okay, now let's the same thing. Here do it as a delete as well. Go back to my routes. The remove the same function, the same like this. Paste over here. Right. Now here when the request is coming, route when the request is coming, user remove. It goes they are different function. When you get the records, calling the get request. When you post the when you create the record, post request, update the record, patch request, delete the record, delete request. Okay, here it will be changed. Very simply, Node.js they are implemented these functions. Okay, get, post, patch, and delete. They implemented different function for each operation, right? So user control, we have to create the method delete user. So how to create? Go to the user control. We have to create the method which is a delete. So let's I go to here and copy this one. Right now here, how to write this one is here. You can see here var delete user. This is the function we have to create here. Request and response. We get the request from where? Server request. You get the server request and your console log you can check whether the request coming or not. Here you can see here, right? So here you can check var request avoid. So this is an update one. This record we have to update like this. So same thing here we have to do the console log over here. When you delete the record, you get the particular ID. If you going to delete the record as John, get him the ID and delete all the rows. So that's the same thing you have to do. You have to get the ID. So get as a param here. Yeah, var result here to get the variable. You have to put the avoid here to get this one, right? So user service you have to create the function remove user db request param get the ID. So now what I'm going to do is the process go to the service. We have to create the user delete function. So go to the user delete function. So here you have to delete. Back over here, paste it over here, right? So here you can see here the one more thing I forgot it. If you implement this function, you have copy this and below here model export comma you have paste it. Then only it will work. Right? So after that you have to get the remove. Come to the remove user function. So remove function. Here get the ID. Get the particular ID. You are sending the ID through this controller. You are sending the ID here. Just send this ID param. Here this function it's coming the ID by the ID. So this if you implement this here, you can see the update. There will be two parameters will be passed, ID and body. Here only ID will be coming. Here receiving the ID. Here you can see here the update one ID and body. The two things are coming and put in the argument. So the ID will be coming. So it will be passing to the promise here resolve and reject function. It through it there will be the if you delete the record in user model in MongoDB here they are defined find and delete this function in Node.js. So here this function what does is delete the record from the database. So ID get the ID function here it will be argument you have set it as error and request. Okay, so if it is error it will be reject the request. If it is result it will be resolve. Resolve means if the request is succeed it will resolve will work. It's any database problem any error display it will be rejected will be it's communicate with the models. Okay, models apart we are communicate with the database, right? So the model I will be explaining here. This is schema, right? So how to pass a request now you have idea. Route will passing the request to controller. Controller will be passing the request to where service. Service the process we have done the operation, right? Service in the done the operation. So where the model and it's back to the result. Right now we done the delete part. Now let's save all. Now go to the my server is already running here. No need to execute the server again. Here we have to delete request. You have to method delete. So you try how to delete user delete when the request is delete slash I'm going to delete this and ptest records paste over here. Okay, now you have to not body you have send you have none it click send. What the can't delete user what is the error here? Sorry, not here. It's open up here. It's not sorry not delete here request it not delete here remove you have set as remove right not delete you have to if you want you can check it here delete as well it's working when the result is coming delete. Now you can save all. Now the delete will be work. Okay, I have put in the delete. But it's not working. Delete user delete the particular ID. Back to my terminal again, Node.js terminal. Again, I am going to run the server. If there is a problem with the server, while the problem here. Now, if you are the ID is okay, the record has been deleted. Now again, I am going to send it right here. Delete record is deleted. Record has been deleted. Right. So if you want to check another delete part, so here I'm going to type. You can see get all function. Okay, that record is deleted. I want to delete this record here. Copy it. So here go to the first required method delete user delete flash the respective ID send it user deleted. Now you have to get all function get it. Nothing will be there. All things are removed. Right? Perfect. It's working perfect. This is how we have done the front end for right. In my next video tutorial, I'm going to teach about the backend part we already done. In my next video tutorial, I'm going to start my front end part, which is a Angular. Thank you for watching. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we completed the Node.js backend part. In this video, I'm going to teach start the front end application, which is with the Angular. So first what you are going to do is go back to my project. This is my project. Here in this folder I'm going to create new folder node projects. Okay, now this folder node new project, this one, right? This is my, I have created the folder, right? So this one I just cut off this one and paste it inside this folder, because this one should be the our backend. So we have to name it as, this one should be the backend. I name it as this one, rename it as backend. Now I am going to, this is our Node.js backend. I'm going to make the front end with the Angular. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here, I'm going to create the front end application. So you write cmd. Here I'm going to go to the Angular respective side, Angular, you type Angular, go to the Angular, this one, get started Angular. So here what I'm going to do is get started. Here I'm going to install the Angular CLI. Simply you have to, rather than coming like this, you simply you type on the Google here Angular CLI. So you have to easily find the installation part. Angular CLI, right? Command. It will be help you to install, right? Now here you will be getting this page. You just copy this one and paste it over here where you are going to install this one inside Node project. Press enter key. It takes some time to configure things, configure the project, right? Here I have configured the Angular CLI. Now I'm going to install the new project. So here this is the command. Just copy this one. You have to change the project's name here. I haven't changed, so I'm going to change this one. So here I'm going to change the command. New, this one should be, I'm going to say my frontend. You just name the name is frontend, my frontend, or you have to write frontend name. I'm going to this project name, right? Press enter key. Now you have to wait until the project has been created. It asks to install the Angular. Why? Here you have to select the SCSS. Okay. Now you have to wait until the installation completed. Here my installation has been completed. Now I am going to open the project on the VS Code editor. Right. So here let's go to my project. Now here my front end application is installed. Right. It's a backend. It's a front end. Right. It's a backend. We have a front end. Front end we have to open on the VS Code editor, cmd code space dot. It will be open up your VS Code editor, right? Now when I run the application, so how to run the application on Angular, you have just type the command ng-serve. If you type the command, your project is initialized and run your project. Okay, you have to wait till the project is running. But you can see here, this is your app. Okay, here in Angular you can see it is a main file, index.html. Here inside the body it's called app root. Here app root is coming from here, app content.ts. Here you can see the app root here. So here this file is running. So this is a selector, right? It is selector as, here you can see component.html, component.css, this one, these two files. This is the HTML file, this is, so these both are controlling in this app root folder, right? This app root, okay, so here, okay, right? This is the selector, where it will be working, right? So here, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to, when the project is running, now let's see, I have already run the Angular project, right? So it will be running. So when the Angular project is running, it shows the output in the index component, right? This is the index, this is the HTML file, as well as this is a CSS file. This is a CSS file. What is the CSS return? It will be applying, right? This is the HTML file, they all the things are written, so that the CSS file they are not written, it's defaultly created. The HTML, all the part is written in the HTML file in Angular, right? So let's check. Now here my project is running. Now here we have to just copy and paste it over here. press enter key. Now you can see the front end. Okay, the simple front end you will be able to see, right? So here we will be change the things, right? So let's back to my project. So here my project is running. So here my project Angular project is running. Now what I'm going to do is I just I going to go to the again go here. I'm going to get another terminal. This terminal I'm going to create the uh, component, new component. I'm going to create ng uh, ng generate component. This one G mean generate, C mean component. Here student Crud. Press enter key. Now you have to wait until the now here the component has been created successfully. Now here let's back to my project. This is my project, right? Here this is the project. Okay, now here my component is created. This is a component which I created, right? So here first what I'm going to do is this component I'm going to call this is a newly created component, right? This here you can see this component as a HTML file, CSS, SCSS file, and TS file. CS file, this TS file which used to write the logic of the program. So here we have to design the program, right? So here I'm going to call this one in my app component.html. So I just control A to select all this one. Press delete key. Now here I am going to call this component, right? So you have to component, you have to call student Crud call the component, right? You have to call the component, then you have to test whether it's working fine or not. You have to save all. Student Crud. So you have to copy this one. Any problem with this? Here it's called like this. Copy it. You have to go to the TS file and copy it. You have to copy it here like this. Now you can see the output. Here student Crud works. Now here where I'm going to design the form design and everything. Right. Now what I'm going to do is here. First I'm going to go to I have created a component. It will work. I'm going to install the Bootstrap. npm install I Bootstrap. Type and install. After that, my Bootstrap is installed successfully. After that, what you are going to do is go to my project. This is my project. Here I am going to go to the Node modules folder. Here you will be able to see the Bootstrap. Here Bootstrap is installed, right? This path we have to given here as a my main file, which is a CSS main file. You have to give here as a the style.scss. Here where you can import the style. So you have to write import Bootstrap is where located where here reside on the our node modules folder. That path I have given here. Bootstrap here. Okay, this is a folder. Inside this folder it is reside. Bootstrap.css, right? That's it. That's the thing you have to give, right? After that, we have to go to the HTML file. Here we have to do the things, right? So we have to go to Bootstrap implementation. So type to Google Bootstrap implementation. Bootstrap implementation. Introduction Bootstrap. Here we have to sorry, not Bootstrap integration, Bootstrap forms. You have to get the form here. So simple form, I just copy this one, copy it back here, paste it over here. Now here what I'm going to do is, here I'm going to type it. Here this one should be the name. This one we don't need them. This one we have to remove them. Only keep button. Okay, this only design we need, right? This have to close. This we don't need them. Here name. Here name. Here text. This one should be the text. Name. Enter the name. Copy, paste it below. This one should be address, copy, paste below. This one should be phone, copy, paste it over here, right? This is the thing you have to do it, right? After that, let's add the div above here, right? Div class empty here card. You have to add this one. So here I'm going to close the div. You have to close the div here. Close 2 times, right? Here we have to add the divs 2 times over here. This is adding empty here. This is simple form I have created, right? So let's save our and check whether this form is working or fine. Here it's working. Now it's working. Now here this is the simple registration form we have get. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to what you're going to do is we have done the stuff. So after that, what you're going to do is here I have to add these things. Okay, the ng models, right? So here we are. I'll be explaining this. Okay, you have to add the ng models. Ng model. Here, this one should be the name. We didn't create the name in our logic. Okay, I want to create, right? Ng model option. This is the option which will be when you type the this one we don't need it, right? If you type the name on this particular input box, the name will be stored in the ng model. Okay, this ng model, the name should be stored. Okay, that's the purpose of storing the ng model, right? Now what you're going to do is you have to go to the employee create ts file. Here is the file where we have to write the logics, right? So what I'm going to do is here go here to write the logic. Right now what I'm going to do is here I have to create the variables. You have to create the variables. This variable, how to create the variable here, variable name, data type, right? That's why you have to create the variable. You have first variable name. This one should be the address, phone. The phone number we didn't do any validation part, so we have to keep as string, right? These 3 variables we have to create. Okay, these 3 variables we have to set here as a ng model, right? So what this error showing here? Here we have to go to the app module ts file. You have to import the 2 things. First one is a HTTP client. HTTP client, the form data form module. After that you have to write HTTP it is not important. When you're doing the form validation, you have to import that particular packages, right? So we have to done this here. TS file, these 2 things, the employee HTTP client model. Okay, so you have to write like this. You have to put it over here. And say near the namespace couldn't import. Sometimes it important, sometimes it's not important. If it is not important, you have to write like this. This is reside on the import HTTP client model from Angular common HTTP. This is the file where it will be decided. Okay, sometimes it will be important, sometimes it not important. So you have to give the path, then only the error go away. If you write like this, you have to access the RESTful API. If you import the package, if you import a form model, you can create the form and use it. Right now here the error go away. Here you can see now the error go away. Okay, that's the thing you have to do it. Right, perfect. Now what I'm going to do it here. We done the thing so far. Now let's go to my employee create ts file. Now here what I'm going to do is here I'm going to go to my I'm going to go to my TS file, my heading part, register part. Okay, register part, I'm just copy this one. I'm going to explain, don't worry about that. So if I return and explain, take too much of time to complete the project, right? I will be explained, don't worry. Okay, right? So let's create this as well. Constructor, this private, this XML, this thing as well. This constructor, you have to write like this: constructor private HTTP, this one. You have to import the package HTTP client, right? This module we at the moment we don't need them, right? Here this is the, you have to import this one. You write the constructor private HTTP client, right? So here if you are declaring HTTP client, then only the RESTful API will be works, right? So after the first time I'm going to register the form. You have to create the method register, open bracket and close bracket. So here what are the things you have to create? Name, address. What are the field you have created? Name, address, phone number. Only 3 fields. Very simple adding system, this one. So here's a name, address, phone. These are the fields in my database, right? Okay, these are the fields are there, right? Okay, I already show you in my Postman. These are the fields in the database. This is a form. So when you go to the form, student form, these are the forms: name, address, and phone. The same field on here, right? This is the form data. This is the data which is in the database table, right? So here, go to the, now here this one you have to comment it. So here the get all things we will see in my next video tutorial. Now here, if the request is coming, here this request we already saw in our Postman. This is the port. This is a user creation. This one should be, you go to the server. This is a server. So I mean this is Node.js. Okay, when the request is coming via the front end. Okay, this is a user request coming via the front end, right? It goes to the backend here. Routes create here. Routes create. It will be passing the request to controller. Controller will be passing the request to service. Service is the part passing the request to model. Model is added the data into the database. That's how this works, right? So here one thing I have to do it. So the server, sorry. So here what you are going to do is here just this not this line added, right? So here use wait. Right. You can use this one server.use cross. This one we have to implement that above here, right? Not here, not here. This one should be, there is an issue with the server communicator, the front end and back end. There should be the error will be displayed. So to avoid these things, we have to do it this one, right? Some server error will be displayed. Okay. So the browser problem, that kind of error will be displayed, so that we have to call this one cross this one, the browser error will be displayed. So we have to write call before that, before display the JSON, you have to call this like this, right? So after that you have to save all. Let's go back to my server I'm going to running. Okay, server I'm going to running. So just running the server first. This is server. Your backend, you go to your project folder. Where's your project we have created? We have created the project folder E. This one, this project folder. Here is a backend. Backend you have to type here as cmd. You have to open up your server. You have to run the server first. So how to run the server? Node server.js. First you have to run the server. After that, our server is running. Already running my project. Okay, so I already running my project. Server is running. You can see, you have to get the messages here. Server is running. Then you can do the things. Go here. This is employee registration. Okay, now I'm going to enter the registration as James, address India, phone number 121213 like this. Click submit button. Student register successfully. Now here the field is clear, right? That's the thing we have to write over here. When the registration successfully, you can see the this dot name should be, this field should be clear, address field should be clear, and phone number should be clear. This is how we have written the this, right? So how this works, I already taught. This is a registration form. You have to fill the name, will be passing the ng model, address you have to typing passing an ng model, form. This all things are stored here. When you click register button, this all the fields are coming to my TS file. Here it will be passing the form data to, this is the columns. So it goes to the, this call the column setting and to putting to the this body data to the along with this request. Then it will be go to the particular URL and add the data into the database. After that, it will pass in the message as student registered successfully. Thank you for watching. In my next video tutorial, I will be teach how to view the data into the table. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In our last class, we studied student registration part. In this class, I am going to teach the tables, how to view the records. So let's back. This is not a student employee registration, it's student registration. So here, I'm going to go to the first HTML file, student Crud HTML file. Here we have to change this as student registration. Right. Now I'm going to, here I'm going to create the table. Simple table I have created. This table name I'm going to create this one as, this one we have to write. This table name I'm going to create as student table. Right, student table. Right. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, here I'm going to do the thing is, first I'm going to go to the, this is my HTML student component HTML file. Here I'm going to create the blank table, right? So you just go to the Google and type bootstrap table. You can get this simple table. This is the header. You can get it. This is all the inside the T body. You have to view the records, right? So this is the TR tags, right? This are all the things you have to get from the bootstrap, right? So don't worry about this. All code I provide you. So you have a, if you want to, you just go to the Google and copy the bootstrap table and paste it. Okay, that's how I have get them table. Right? This is a div tag, right? Div tag. Inside div tag, I have put it one h1 tag. Inside the h1 tag, I have created a simple table. Right? This table, this is the columns names. So first I'm going to create name. In our program, I'm going to change this one as a name. This one should be the address, the phone. The three columns are there, and with the option mean here there will be the two choices, edit or delete button. So if you have a additional column, you have to create the option, right? So here where we have to create the student item. This one should be the where create the student item. This one should be the our array, right? Here this one list of the student details we have to display, right? Now here we have to create this one name. Another field we have to display address. It's a phone number. Right. If you want, you can put it this one upper. Otherwise, if you get rid of this line, it will be printed as it is in the database table. If you have put the angular as upper, the name should be displayed as uppercase. Right. Okay. Now let's back to our TS file. TS the file which is we have write the codes. Codes means a logic. Right. So what I'm going to do is here. The simple code. This is simple code. We retrieve the record from the database, right? A very simple code. You can see this very simple code, right? So here, student component. Here, if you write, so here we have to do the another thing is simply we have to do another thing. So don't worry, I'll be explaining it. This one, don't worry about that. Employee line, this one. I just get them and I'll be explaining it. Don't worry. If I writing from the beginning, it take too much of time to complete the project. That's why I am just copy and paste it. Don't worry, mistake me. Right. So here, this one should be the student array. You have typed this the name student array. When you are view the record, you have typed student array. This is the array. You have typed. Right. I'll be explaining. Here first you have to create the file. First create the array student array. Any you have to create the blank. Here we have load the records, right? So here after that, what you are going to do is you have to write the method which is inside the constructor. Here we have display the record, so we have to write the method which is we have to remove the method which is a get employee, right? So here let's import this one, get our student, right? It's a beautiful student, right? This is not error. It asks you implement the method. When the here you will be able to see the Java also. When you put the code inside the constructor is running first. So the same thing in the Angular as well. Here we have the constructor. In the constructor we have calling this method. This method is running first. So you have to implement this method, declaring the method. The method is declared below. Inside the method, I have to call the RESTful API. So how to call the API? So simply, this is a code where I will be calling the API. So at calling the API, we have to retrieve all the information from the particular URL. So how to get all the employees? So we have to go to the routes. This is the code, right? User get all, this function. Okay, so user get all. We are going to get all. What is the port? We are setting it here 8000 port, right? When the URL is coming, go to this URL, it will be load the record and it will be fetch the record and put into this data result data and load the data the result, right? Now here first what I'm going to do is here I'm going to right now here I'm going to first what I'm going to do is this is the record loaded and this employee array, paste it over here, right? So now now the record is loaded. Now I'm going to paste it over here, right? So student item, this one should be the student array. This one student array, student array. Get the record here, pass into this variable. This variable you pass into the student name, address, and phone number, right? So here this is what is the error here is set update set delete. Now let's run the application. So let's get rid of this function at the moment. Let's check whether it's working fine or not. Let's save all. Student component will check. Now if you see the output here it's loaded. Okay, you can see that edit and delete button, all things are there, right? So here now here I'm going to, if you click edit button, I want to get this all the row records to here to F4 edit. So how to do the task is, let's back to our project, right? So here I'm going to go. Now I'm going to edit and delete the record. Now we have an on-click method. When you click the edit button, it goes to the editable record passed into the form for edit. So what I'm going to do is very simple, that one. So here we have to pass this function set update set delete. So you have to return over here. Here you can see set update. This one should be the this student item. This passing here. This method we didn't create yet. Now here we have to select this one as an employee student item. This one we have to click and declaring the method set update. This one declaring the method set delete. These two methods you have to declare our TS file over here, right? So here we have to match. This one should be the data. This is also the data, right? So this one should be the, we have declared the method look like the simple format you have declared, right? So you have to just these two methods you have just copied, paste it below. Simply you are paste it below here. Let's arrange them, right? So now what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to go to the update part. What I'm going to do is here simply we have to update the record. Simply what you are going to do is, before update that we have to create this, all things are set update. So set update, so this one you have to do things, we have to the same code I just copy and paste it. So yeah, I'll be explaining totally. Set update here, this one, right? Set update, right? Now here what I'm going to do is, when you click the edit button, this all the student item mean this is all the array record. All the record will be passing to student item. The student completely entire student item you have to pass into the edit. So when you click the edit button, all the editable record will be passing to this form, name, address, phone number. So what I did here is, you have to write this name, you have to set as a name. Okay, this address, the second one, this is passing to the address. This phone, it passing to the phone here. This is how the record will be passing, right, with the current student data ID. Student ID. This current ID means here you have to create the student ID over here and student ID. Okay, so the current ID, it will be data will be passing, right? That's it. You can check the alert messages whether it's working fine or not. So let's, this one we don't need here. Okay, along with the ID. So let's check whether it's working fine or not. This one also I'm going to change this one also, name, address, phone. That's passing like this. Now let's just go to the update. This one should be the current details, right? Now let's check here. Let's save all. Click edit button here. Record will be easily passing to the relevant form for update. Here. Simply passing. Edit phone. Why this phone? All the things are this one. Let's go to this address. This one. Here. But the thing is here the phone, not the address is a phone. That's why it will display phone. Now let's check. Okay, now it's passing successfully. Working. Now I want to edit the record. So when you edit the record here, register the record and edit the record, both are doing one button. So we have to create the separate function for that. So we have to create the separate function. You have to create this function. I'm going to call it over here. This function which called name as save. Okay, this one should be our current student ID. Here the display here. The save. Register update record. So okay, the save method we have to call it here. Right? Okay, when you click save button, now let's check whether it's working fine or not. First of all, then I'll be explaining. If you click the record, sorry, here we have no records available. Here if you click submit, the problem is this. Sorry. Here we didn't do the URL as well. Only the URL mistake. Click submit. Record this time update. Okay, this update record. Now if you want to save the record, this time this record the student is registration, student is updated, right? So the student student updated. What is the meaning of this one? First, when you click the button, edit button, this all the record will be passing to this any data. This data one student, the name, address, this all the data will be passing to the form look like this along with the ID. Okay, this is the form data. We are setting this. This is the variable. We are setting the form data like this. It is passing to the form. Okay, this name also we are set the this dot name, this dot phone number. This all the setting to this relevant field. If we call them this here, this name, address, and that's why the data record will be displayed. After that, if you want to update the record, what I'm going to do is it goes to the you create another method update records. You passing the URL. This is all the data. Okay, the name, address, phone number. So here you write here as name field. This one should be address. This is the phone number. This is the database column. This is the our form columns. This all the records are passing to here along with the ID. What's the record? I get the ID. Say ID. ID also the in our Nodejs you write like this. Okay, the auto increment IDs look like this. It goes to the along with the ID and it will be subscribed. We are called subscribe function. Whether the record is added or not, it will be subscribed until the record is updated. Okay, the function is work subscribe, right? After that, get the data and update the student updated, right? Now let's check. If you click this one, James D India, like this, click submit button, record updated. Now let's refresh it. I am going to put the refresh here. It's updated successfully here. It's working, right? Okay, now what I'm going to do is, once you update it, I want to reload the record. So out of the out does the thing is, the student method, get student method, we have to call it over here, this dot student. Just refresh it. When you add the record also, we have to register the record also, we have to call in this one function, right? Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, after that you can create the separate function. When you click the record, save record, we have created the separate function over here. So save, if the IDs exist, when you click the update button, when you click the update, so it's come and you can see here, it's come here, edit update along with the ID. So this IDs exist. So if the ID is blank, it goes to register, it's going to be registered. If the ID is not exist, it's going to be updated. Okay, if the ID exists, it's going to be, it's working as a register form. If the ID doesn't exist, it go to the update part, right? That's how the this method does, right? After that, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to the delete part. Okay, delete part, I'm going to do the delete part. When you click delete button, I want to delete the record. So what I'm going to do is, you have to create the function. You already create the function delete. So let's back it here. So here you have to delete all student, right? We only, when the IDs exist, we get the ID, you have to go to the URL. Here, what's the URL? We have to edit here, user remove. Okay, this URL I already solved the URLs. We have to implement the routes. Get all, get create, update, and get user delete. So the same URL you have written here. It goes and this remove. This not remove, here we have to make it as delete. Okay, it will be delete the record, right? Get the ID and delete the record. Okay, this is student deleted. Now let's check all. One thing I forgot to done it, the data ID means this, you have to write like this. So the ID is coming, you have to assign it here, this one. Okay, I forgot it. Now let's save all. Now let's check the database is running still. It's running. Now let's back to our programming. Now let's delete the data. It's not deleted. Here it's deleted. Here it's successfully deleted. Right here it's successfully deleted. Now you'll be able to add the record, edit the record, and delete the record. So I'm going to add the record as ABC, address India, phone number, something like that. It's going to register successfully. Here it will be loaded ABC. If you want to update the record, BCCC, submit. Now this time here update the record, you can see here. Now if you want to delete the record, if you click, it will be deleted. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime, or the source code I provide you. Thank you for watching.